share with you a topic that is not easy to our hearts. It's difficult. And I shared it with some brothers yesterday in Jum'ah prayer. So I thought of sharing the same thing with you today. Because also the Prophet ﷺ advised us to keep remembering this. As he said, اذكروا أكثروا من ذكر هازم اللذات. أكثروا من ذكر هازم اللذات. Means keep remembering the defeater of joy, which is death. It is difficult to remember death, especially when we remember our loved ones, when we said goodbye to them. Every time we remember them, we feel some sort of grief gets into our hearts. There is a very beautiful piece of poem that says, أنت الذي ولدتك أمك باكيا والناس حولك يضحكون سرورا اعمد إلى عمل تكون إذا بكوا عند موتك ضاحكا مسرورا. You are the one. You came down crying to this day. And everybody around was laughing and happy for your coming. Stick to the type of deed that when they cry for you to depart, that you are happy to meet your Lord. It is a deed that you should stick to feel happy when you meet your Lord. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, al-Asr, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Allah is swearing with the time because every second of our life counts. It's very important. Time is a big factor that we should not just let it go easily without making use of it. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. Truly man is in loss, except those who believe and do righteous deeds. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. And join together for the truth. And usually when you say the word of truth, you will certainly get some enemies because you are telling him you are wrong. And it can, this individual whom you are telling him you are wrong by saying the word of truth can cause you some trouble later on. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala followed by saying, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Be patient. Be patient. When you say the word of truth, expect some hardship afterwards. So you have to be patient. Each one of us sitting here goes through 4 special days in his life. All of us, special 4 days in his life. The first day, Al-Yawm Mashhud, is the day when you were born. On that day, a file will be generated for you in heaven. The interesting thing about this file that will collect your records for the rest of your life, the very first page and the last page are already there. The first page, so-and-so was born at this moment, in this place, and his father is named so-and-so, his mom is so-and-so, and so. Also, the last page is also there. Individual so-and-so is going to die at this place, at this moment, by this cause. It is written. And in between, the days starts to build up when every one of us reaches the age of puberty. Then the counter starts to count. It is a day that we are 100% sure it's going to happen to us. Every one of us is going to depart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says to the Prophet وَمَا جَعَلْنَا لِبَشَرٍ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ الْخُلْدِ. We never had made any human being before you to live forever. Everyone is going to die. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says كُلُّ مَنْ عَلَيْهَا فَانٍ. Everything on the surface of the earth will perish. كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ. Every soul is going to taste death. So there is no escape. And the Prophet ﷺ said, the most assured thing in the mind of everyone is this fact, death. But we always tend to forget about it. But when we try to reflect on those who depart in front of us, I'm sure in their minds they wish that they have one extra day so they can do good deeds, they can do extra prayers, they can make more istighfar, they can do something, they can spend their money for the sake of Allah. And remember, brother, as it happened during the time of Jesus, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the gift of raising the dead from death, from back to life, back to life. One of Jesus' companion, he said to Jesus, if I am in place of this man, I will never stop for a second of thanking Allah, praying to Allah, this and this and that. Jesus looked at him, don't you know that every day you wake up in the morning is a gift from Allah, you are up from death. Why don't you do it? Every day is a gift. And this day will be in the hereafter either to testify against or for you. So we always have to try to do the best we can to make use of our time in a good way, that we are happy to see that this record is there for us in the hereafter. And this death, which we all tend to ignore and forget about it, not only us, I mean, the history tells us that there are many, many tyrants in the history of mankind, that they thought that they are bigger than death. And they committed a great deal of atrocities against their own people and neighboring countries. Where are they now? Of course, Hitler, Mao Zedong, Stalin, Saddam Hussein of Iraq, Gamal Abdel Nasser in Egypt, Gaddafi in Libya, and many, many others. Every one of us knows somebody that is the same thing. They think that they are bigger than death. But no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. But these people tend to forget. So this is the second day, Al-Yawm al-Mafqud, the day of yesterday, the day that left us with whatever deeds we have done in that day, already done. We will not see it till the day of judgment. On that day, and by the way, Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, who was a righteous ruler, he ruled half of the earth during the Umayyad reign. But he was a righteous man. And one time, a poet who was standing in front of him, saying all sorts of good things about him. What beautiful body you have, beautiful eyes, beautiful hair, God blessed you. Too many things. He said, stop. I don't want to hear that. I challenge you. If you can come and visit my body only 3 days after I die, you will not be able to stand the way I looked and the smell I have. Look at, he always is conscious of this. That's why he was a righteous man. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, ولقد جئتمونا فرادا كما خلقناكم أول مرة وتركتم ما خولناكم وراء ظهوركم. You will come to us bare and alone, naked and alone, as we have created you the first time. And you will leave behind everything that we bestowed upon you. So fat bank account is not going to happen. Attorneys, children, wife, bodyguards, an army is not going to happen. There's no, you are going to give all this back. Nothing is going to help but your deeds. And we remember Shah Iran. Shah Iran, he smuggled billions of dollars from the sweat and blood of his own people. He committed a great deal of atrocities and killings against his own people. And when the time came for him to leave Iran after the revolution, he thought, and of course we all know he was a puppet to this country, he thought that with these billions of dollars he can get the rest of his life in luxury and easy life. Don't know about those people. So he came to this country during the time of Reagan. Few months later, the government here told him, you have to find somewhere else. Leave. You have to leave. Wow. He kept looking, or his assistants kept looking all over the world to find one single country that can host him. Finally, small, tiny country, I forgot the name of it, in the South America, they said, okay, you can come. So he went there again for a few months. Later, the government told him, no, we can't keep you anymore. We have to find somewhere else. The man then, he had cancer because of the pressure and stress he was going through. He had cancer. Again, he had to look for some country to host him. For almost a month, they were saying, any country can have this man. Finally, Sadat of Egypt said, okay, you can come. He went to Egypt, and a couple of months later, he died. And what did he take with him? 2 pieces of cloth, just wrap him, worth a few dollars. What these billions had done for him? Nothing. Besides the humiliation that he went through in front of the whole world, trying to look for a country to host him. This is Shah Iran. So what counts is not the billions, but the deeds. And we all, many of us, I'm sure, know the story of Malik ibn Dinar. Malik ibn Dinar, he grew as a gangster, a head of a gang. And he was getting his earning by standing on the borders of this city, or town that he was living in. Any businessman coming with goods, he will force to take it from him. If he, fight back, they will kill him. He will kill him. So he was a very bad guy, gangster, head of gang. And he said that one day I was walking in my town, and I saw a man holding his daughter in his hand, like 3-4 years of age, playing with her. The girl was laughing from her heart, so happy, and the father was so excited of playing with his daughter. He said, it's such a beautiful scene that I wished I can have a daughter to play with her and be happy like this. I make her laugh like this. He said, this scene stuck into my head, I want to be like this, to have a daughter. He said I kept knocking the doors of different families in town, asking them for their daughter to marry. All of them refused, because they know that he is criminal. He said, I ended up purchasing a slave, and I freed her and I married her. He was from Tabi'een, by the way. Tabi'een is like 3 generations after the Prophet, 3 or 4 generations after the Prophet. Those are the ones who already had the chance to meet with a companion of the Prophet. It's called Tabi'een. So they were seeking the knowledge from the companion of the Prophets who are still alive. So anyway, this man was blessed with a daughter. He was so excited to have the first child to be a daughter. And he started to spend a great deal of his time at home. My legs are starting to... Yes, okay. Excuse me. Yeah, my legs are starting to hurt as well. So he said, thank you. So he said that I started to spend a great deal of my time. The more she is growing and more she's starting to interact and smile and laugh, wow, this is what I'm looking for. The more time I was spending with my wife and my daughter at home, he said even to the extent that every time I was playing with her, holding a cup of alcohol, she was pushing it away. So I felt that she doesn't like the smell of alcohol. I stopped drinking alcohol, just for the sake of my daughter. And it was the pleasure of my life. But still he was against it. So the girl grew to say 5 years of age or so, she fell sick and died. Wow, he said this was the worst day of my life. I don't know how I can handle this. He said on that day, I said I will get some alcohol and drink as much as I can so I can sleep. And this is what he did. He said, I fall asleep. And then, while I was asleep, I had a dream where he saw a huge snake running after him. He was running and the snake was after him. He said, I was so exhausted till I saw in the way an old man sitting on the side of the road. I approached him, please help me, help me. He said, no, I can't help, just keep on running. I kept running till at the end of the road I saw a very big fire, which I can't cross. So he said, I maneuvered the snake and turned and made a U-turn. Buzzed again by the old man. Please help, please help. I said, I can't help. You can see I'm an old man, I can't do anything. So there is a mountain in front of us. He said, get up this mountain, get up this mountain. He said, I started to climb the mountain. At the top of the mountain, I saw a lot of children playing and laughing and this and that. He said, I wish that I could see my daughter among them. He said, out of a sudden, I saw my daughter coming towards me, gave me a big hug. I was so excited, so happy to see her. But I noticed that she's doing like this to the snake, and the snake turned away. I said, what is this? She said, this is your bad deeds, running after you, pushing you to hellfire. And who is this old man that couldn't help us? She said, this is the little good deeds that you did in your life. Can't help you. أَلَمْ يَأْنِ لِلَّذِينَ, and then she recited this verse. أَلَمْ يَأْنِ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَن تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَمَا نَزَلَ مِنَ الْحَقِّ وَلَا يَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ مِنْ قَبْلُ فَطَالَ عَلَيْهِمُ الْأَمَدُ فَقَسَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ وَكَثِيرٌ مِنْهُمْ فَاسِقُونَ. Isn't it time for the believers to get their hearts to humble to the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And not to be like those before, who the time was so, prolonged from the time the messenger came, and they forgot about their faith and their hearts became hardened. Of course, this is a verse is referring to the people of the book, the Jews. Because if you might remember, the time span between Prophet Musa and Prophet Jesus is between 1600 to 1800 years. And between the Prophet Jesus and Prophet Muhammad is like 600 years. So the 1800 is the message of La ilaha illallah, but because of the long time, their hearts they forgot about it. But 600 between Jesus and Prophet Muhammad because quickly in 600, they started not to forget about Allah, but to believe in Jesus. So Allah sent quickly Prophet Muhammad say, La ilaha illallah. Okay. أَلَمْ يَأْنِ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَن تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. And he said that when this verse was recited by my daughter, I wake up on the adhan of Fajr prayer. Then I said to myself, it's time. He said I wake up and took my shower, cleaned myself, and went to the masjid for Fajr prayer. He said I did not enter this masjid for all my life, since I was a child. He stood in the first line, behind the Imam. He said, to my surprise, the Imam recited the same verse in his prayer. He said, I couldn't control myself, but crying like a baby. I couldn't control myself, just cried like a baby, with sound. Everybody was wondering what's wrong with his mouth. After the Imam finished his prayer, he looked behind. Brother, what's wrong with you? He told him what happened. He told them, Allah is calling you back. He's calling you back. And this man had a very sincere repentance to the extent that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made from this gangster a great scholar. Imam Malik ibn Dinar. He gave him the knowledge to be a great Imam. And this story is in one of his books. So what counts is deed, is not anything else. Being powerful, being here and there, rich and famous, is nothing to have. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to do the right things. To run quickly because of the time. The next day that we all go through is the day of tomorrow, which is hidden for each one of us. We don't know what's hidden for us in tomorrow. Only Allah knows. And you might know a companion by the name Anas ibn Malik. Anas ibn Malik is the companion of the Prophet who surpassed all the companions. He survived to 103 years of age. All companions died before him. And when he was so old, he had a dream seeing the angel of death. He got scared. Even at this age, he doesn't want to die. And he asked him, are you coming to take my life? The angel just in the dream just did like this, which means no. When am I going to die? He showed him 5 fingers and disappeared. Wow, is it 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months? What is 5 means? He was so puzzled by that. So he ran to a great scholar also in his time by the name Ibn Sirin. Allah gave him the gift of interpreting dreams. And he told him what he had seen in the dream, what this 5 means. I want to know when am I going to die? He said, no, it's not 5 days or 5 weeks or 5 months or 5 years. It means that you asked him one of the 5 questions that nobody knows about it except Allah. What are those things? He said, Allah told us in the Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman, Inna Allah indahu ilmu as-sa'a, wa yunazzilu al-ghayth, wa ya'lamu ma fi al-arham, wa ma tadri nafsun madha taksibu ghadan, wa ma tadri nafsun bi'ayyi ardin tamut, Inna Allah alimul ghayb. These are the 5 things that Allah only knows about. What are those? Inna Allah indahu ilmu as-sa'a. Allah knows, the only one knows when is the hour, the judgment. وَيُنَزِّلُ الْغَيْثِ. Allah is the one in control of these clouds and rains, where to fall. وَيَعْلَمُ مَا فِي الْأَرْحَامِ. And he knows what in the womb of the mother. Not boy and girl. He knows everything about this baby. Is it going to be a happy baby? A miserable baby? What type of profession? How long is he going to live? All this information Allah only knows. Okay? وَيَعْلَمُ مَا فِي الْأَرْحَامِ وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ مَاذَا تَكْسِبُ غَدًا. We don't know what is hidden for us tomorrow. Allah only knows what is in our future. وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ بِأَيِّ أَرْضٍ تَمُوتُ. And nobody knows where is he going to die. Where is he going? Only Allah. So you asked him about one of the things, when am I going to die? He doesn't know. So when it comes to saying when or where we're going to die, I remember a story, I read it when I was like 14, 15 years of age. It's a newspaper about a rich Christian guy. Every Christmas he invites his friends and spends terrible night. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are Muslims. When the day of the birth of the Prophet comes, we remember him with respect and try to do something right. Either to read Quran, make dua, something, which is good. But when they remember Jesus, it is the night when they drink a lot of alcohol and commit adultery. And this is what this guy was doing. So in his last year of his life, by the way, he built a graveyard. He was a very rich man in Lebanon. And he made it out of marbles. And the marbles he brought from Italy. And the grave is not like normal grave, it's like a villa. So the grave is small corner of the villa and a large size hall where he used to invite his friends every Christmas to drink and dance and music and this and that. So he said that, friends, I want you, even after I die, to come every year and celebrate beside me. They said that on that year, he went to France. In his way back to Lebanon, it was an airplane accident. The airplane fell in the Mediterranean Sea only 1 mile from the shore of Lebanon. And they were able to bring everybody except his body from this airplane. So he was buried in the Mediterranean Sea. SubhanAllah, it is amazing. These things when we reflect upon them. We don't know what's hidden for us in tomorrow. And interesting joke that is happened during the time of Solomon. Solomon, we all know that Allah gave him a great deal of power to control everything, including jinns. And he used to make a day of the week in a large-sized hall where people would come and tell Solomon of their problems that he can help them solve it in any way, any problem. So he was sitting in this hall, and beside him was the Prime Minister. And while he was sitting in the hall, some stranger entered. And this stranger sat across from Solomon and the Prime Minister. And this stranger kept looking at the Prime Minister just like that, without even blinking. And the Prime Minister got scared of the way he looks. Kept looking left and right, just pay his attention to something else. Every time he looks, the guy is just looking at him. He whispered in the ears of Solomon, "Who is this guy across from us?" He said, "This is the angel of death." Wow. Solomon, I need a great favor from you. What? He said, "Get me one of your jinns, take me away from here to the India." Escaping from the angel of death. If this is what you want, okay, go to India. So after the meeting was over, Solomon asked the angel of death, "What happened? Why did you scare the man?" He said, I'm wondering because I'm supposed to pick his soul in India. I don't know why he's sitting here. Why is he sitting here?
He made his job easy.
Yeah, subhanAllah. Yeah, so anyway, so I will jump to the last day of our life, which is the day when we depart. This is the day that we always are scared of. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, ذلك ما كنت منه تحيد وجاءت سكرة الموت بالحق ذلك ما كنت منه تحيد. The stopper of death, the moment of the soul coming out from your body. This is what you're trying to escape from. When we fall sick and pain and ache anywhere in our body, we rush to the doctor. I'm feeling so and so. We are afraid. We are scared of it. We are trying to avoid ذلك ما كنت منه تحيد. The moment of truth is coming, and this is what you are trying to escape from. This is what the verse literal meaning is. كلا إذا بلغت التراقي وقيل من راق. When the soul reaches the upper corner of the chest, at this moment, all your loved ones around me, is any majestic doctor, any wizard, any great doctor can save this man from death? No one. No one. No one. Sad part is that this is a very difficult, grievous moment that not only you will feel it, but your loved ones around you. You will be indeed in your last moments. You see your wife, your brothers, your daughters, your sons come with a fake smile on their faces, as if it's going to be all right. In reality, they leave you and go to the next room and cry. And cry. Because death is hard. Death is hard. Hard on everyone. And we all lost loved ones in our lives. We ask Allah subhanahu to forgive them all. And remember the